President Muhammadu Buhari condemns the attack on vigilantes at Yargoje Forest in Kankara local government area of Katsina. Plus, the new Emir of Dutse, Emir of Dutse, assures of commitment to consolidate the achievement of his late father, Dr. Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. This is Panorama. I'm Ruth Aguilera. President Muhammadu Buhari has received the tragic news of the murder of a number of Nigerian Muslim pilgrims on their way to Kaolack, Senegal, where the buses conveying them came under gun attack in Burkina Faso. The president expressed his condolences and prayed for the safety of all the Nigerians stranded there. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through the Nigerian Embassy in Burkina Faso, is engaging with the country's authorities and awaits the outcome of their investigation of the unfortunate incident, and if necessary to ensure that all culprits are appropriately sanctioned. The Nigerian government will make every effort to secure the remains of the deceased and the survivors of the attack. President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the attack on vigilantes at Yargoje Forest in Kankara local government area of Katsina State, where many lives were lost. The insurgents ambushed and killed a convoy of vigilantes in the forest as they went to recover stolen cows. The president pays tribute to all those vigilantes and family members who have been martyred, saying the sacrifices of the brave men who are working to prevent and punish crime in their communities will not be forgotten. Our thoughts and prayers are with the bereaved families in this difficult period. May Allah repose the souls of the deceased. Quote and unquote. To other issues, the Academic Staff Union of Colleges of Agriculture is optimistic that with the signing into law of the Agricultural Development Trust Fund by President Muhammadu Buhari, the agricultural revolution aimed at diversifying the country's economy is achievable. National President of the Union, Dr. Peter Aboki, stated this at a press conference at the end of the 4th National Executive Council meeting of the Union. Let's hear details from Ilyasu Ali Yakub.
In the past 7 years of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, the agricultural sector has been receiving tremendous funding aimed at diversifying the country's economy from overdependence in the petroleum sector. However, despite this support, the non-inclusion of colleges of agriculture in TET fund funding from 2011 to date has been hampering training in mechanized farming in various agriculture and research institutions in the country. Now that Agricultural Development Trust Fund has been signed into law by President, the union said if the right people are put in place to manage the fund, Nigeria will be among the leading committee of nations in the agri sector.
The strategic positions of colleges of agriculture cannot be overemphasized because of the categories and the caliber of training that we give to the nation, the technical aspects which is key to development of the sector.
The Academic Staff Union of Colleges of Agriculture is championing President Buhari's drive to make agriculture the economic window of Nigeria's journey to prosperity. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
The new Emir of Dutse, Emir of Dutse, has assured of a commitment to consolidate the achievements of his late father, Dr. Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi, in ensuring peace and development of the emirate. The new Emir was speaking shortly after receiving his letter of appointment as the 22nd Emir of Dutse, following the approval of the Jigawa State Governor, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar. Awal Mohammed reports.
The Emir's appointment was received with resounding cheers and excitement in the royal palace. And shortly after receiving the letter of appointment, the new Emir Hamim Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi, in his speech, promised to carry everybody along and work for the development of the people in the emirate. He urged those that contested for the position to see his emergence as the will of Allah, as he is the only one who gives leadership to whom he desired.
I thank Council of Chiefs and Kingmakers who find me worthy for this appointment, and I thank all the people of the state for the love they have shown to me.
The secretary to the Jigawa State Government, Abdulkadir Adamu Panini, appealed to all traditional leaders in the emirate to support and cooperate with the new emir for the peace and development of the state.
The government finds you worthy of this appointment and believes you are in a better position to carry over the good work your father believed in.
Thereafter, traditional leaders and other well-wishers come one after another to pay homage to the new emir. In Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazaure, NTA News.
Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade is urging traditional rulers in southern senatorial zone of the state to stand for justice and fairness for the polity of the state. The governor stated this while meeting with traditional rulers in parts of the state as part of efforts to galvanize votes for the All Progressives Congress in the forthcoming general elections. Paul Abel reports.
An unwritten rotational system of governance started in Cross River State from 1999 with the Southern Senatorial Zone to the Central and now the Northern Senatorial Zone. The message of the governor to these traditional rulers in the two local government areas is for them to stand on their integrity, to support the Back to the South movement while telling others to keep the strength.
Because as traditional rulers, you have a custodian of the culture of our people. If the people of the South have taken, people of Central have taken, the North has taken, it naturally has to go back to the South. What has gone wrong is that traditional institutions no longer stand and say what they say and stand by it.
Given us a governor today to be, and we are going to keep behind him in Jesus' name. We are very, very happy that we have brought our governor to be to us here. And we have accepted him. The
governor also interfaced with stakeholders on the need to support continuity and completion.
If you make a mistake, you would have told us that the people of the North and Central Senatorial District can keep the governorship in perpetuity. It means that you have confiscated and dislocated, disclosed yourself in total eminence. The chance of any one of you here in making as a generational government.
The candidates of the party also received prayers from the traditional stool. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
To sustain sufficiency in the supply and distribution of petroleum products nationwide, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has evacuated total of 451 million litres of petrol to filling stations across the country. This was disclosed in the company's weekly PMS evacuation and dispatch report between January 28th to February 3rd, 2023, released in Abuja. In the report, the NNPC Limited says the figure represents 64% average daily evacuation of the product to filling stations for the week in question. The report further added that 89% of all the evacuation took place at the country's top 32 loading depots, while other loading depots evacuated the remaining 11% of the total volume. Similarly, Lagos and Abuja received largest number of truck dispatches to states, recording 1,251 and 847 trucks respectively. The company again reiterated its commitment towards sustaining its collaboration with all downstream stakeholders to ensure all filling stations across the country have the product. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has debunked the insinuations that marketers of petrol are getting set to shut down operations beginning from Monday following government enforcement of 195 naira litre pump price. Mike Osatui, IPMAN's National Operations Controller, debunked the assertion in a statement issued in Abuja. He said the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited is preparing the logistics to give petrol to IPMAN members directly. He advised members to open up their stations and continue selling petrol to the public nationwide. He said IPMAN is a responsible association that will not involve in undermining the national security, as petrol is a national security product. He reiterates that apart from IPMAN members loading at Dapman depots in Abule Ado, Ijegun axis of Lagos, he agreed to sell petrol at 172 naira per litre to IPMAN members as part of the federal government's and Dapman efforts to ensuring Nigerians enjoy the subsidy regime. He added that IPMAN will also load in NIPCO and MRS depots massively for southwest and northwest part of the country. Osatui applauded the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers cancelling the 3 naira union charges on petrol in the last 2 days in loading depots, adding that government should advise NOPENG PTD to bring down the transportation cost to various parts of the country for a reasonable profit by the transport owners. He said Adeshokbe Ibadan IPMAN Depot Publicity Officer has no mandate to talk on behalf of the national body of IPMAN. He appealed to the media to always cross-check any information from IPMAN national body before going to the public. To other issues, as Nigeria heads towards the 2023 general elections, intending Christian pilgrims have been reminded of their civic responsibility to support the process with prayers and supplication from the Holy Land. Addressing about 300 intending pilgrims from Lagos, Ogun and Oyo states ahead of their departure for Israel, Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, Reverend Yakubu Pam, said the country can do with all the divine help it can get at this time. Adeni Taiwo reports.
And excited with their bags already packed, the intending pilgrims converged on Chapel of Christ Delight Church in Alausa Ikeja for a final briefing and collection of their tickets.
There is no better time than now.
The prayer of the righteous availeth much, so says the Holy Book, and that is the basis of the admonition by the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, Reverend Yakubu Pam, as he charged the intending pilgrims to put Nigeria and the coming polls first on their prayer list.
Each time we go to Israel, we go and come back, we behave very well, and we come back with testimonies. And beyond that, they should go there and make sure we pray for the next coming election, the general election that is coming up, that God should give us leaders who has the hearts to service the people of Nigeria.
We are going to Jordan, which is also a Muslim country. They are not Christians. So we are ambassadors of Christ, and we should therefore represent Christ properly and then also represent our nation, Nigeria.
Lolo Lorita is a first-time pilgrim who is going to Israel with a lot of expectations.
Things that happened during the time of Jesus Christ in Nazareth. I would like to see where Jesus was crucified. I would like to see River Jordan.
This set of 300 formed the 6th batch of pilgrims to be airlifted from different parts of the country since December 17, 2022. They are expected to spend 9 days in the Holy Lands. In Lagos, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
Still on religious affairs, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has released 2023 Hajj seat allocations to states and the FCT. A statement by the Assistant Director, Information and Publications of the Commission, Musa Ubandawaki, indicates that Niger, Sokoto, Kano and Kaduna states have the highest allocation of 5,000 seats, while FCT, Lagos, Kwara, Bauchi were allocated 3,000 each. Meanwhile, all the states are expected to remit payment of 50% of the 2023 seats allocation to the Commission before the 10th of February 2023 deadline. The Anti-Narcotics Agency of the NDLEA has forestalled an attempt to export large consignment of narcotics including cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and ephedrine, all bound for Dubai and Europe through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, while arrests have been made of those allegedly behind the consignments. More than 2 tons of illicit drugs have also been seized in 8 states of the Federation in sting operations, including seizure of 75.75 kilograms skunk from Canada. A break is next for us, so please stay tuned.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Welcome back. Federal and Nasarawa state governments, with the support of development partners, have scaled up surveillance and interventions to eliminate all the neglected tropical diseases prevalence in the state. This is coming as the state recorded 0 cases last year in some of those diseases. Victoria Kaswa Ojito reports.
Record as the first state in the country to eliminate 2 neglected tropical diseases. Attention now is focused on the remaining 2 diseases prevalence in the states. Treatment are now carried out at ward level and schools, with health workers trained and deployed across the state for rapid response. So far, more than 100,000 school children and more than 60,000 adults have been treated from neglected tropical diseases still prevalent in the state last year.
The state, as at present, the state is now focused on 2 diseases: schistosomiasis, which is now treated at ward level, and soil transmitted helminthics, which is school-based for school-age children between the age of 5 to 14 years in school and out of school children. The program has also introduced mobility management for people with hydrocele through free surgery.
The state government further reveals that surveillance around boundary communities will be intensified to track infected persons coming into the state with a view to treat them appropriately, even as routine immunization on children on the fight against diphtheria will be championed. In Lafia, Victoria Kaswa Ojito, NTA News.
The federal government has received the report on the 2022 flood on how it affected food security nationwide. Now, the report, which was submitted to the Minister of Agriculture, indicates that the country lost crop worth more than 700 billion naira. Musa Baba Ali reports.
The 2022 flood assessment was carried out by the National Agricultural Extension and Research Liaison Service of the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria.
The said assessment was jointly conducted by the staff of the Extension Department.
The report submitted to the Minister of Agriculture highlighted the damages and cost analysis of the produce due to the flood. The total amount of loss to crops, including cereals, legumes, tubers, and vegetables, was put at more than 384 million naira, while assessment impact on livestock, cattle, poultry, goat, sheep, pigs, and snails was above 93 million naira. In the area of fisheries, the country lost more than 100 million worth of fish and other infrastructure.
And then we must improving our runoff management through the provision of erosion control measures in towns and villages and construction of groundwater harvesting reservoirs within the catchment of the rivers.
Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Muhammadu Mahmoud Abubakar, says government will look at the recommendation towards mitigating flood and other environmental challenges.
Because of the technological advancement, because of the population growth, need for electricity, for water, for agriculture and all that, it becomes necessary to construct certain dams to also prevention of flood. Yes. And with this current Presidential Committee on the Prevention of Flood Disaster, all of this is being taken into consideration.
The total losses to the 2022 flood as compiled by the Ministry of Humanitarian, Disaster Management and Social Development was put at over 4.2 trillion naira. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
To politics, few weeks to the conduct of the 2023 general elections, the All Progressives Congress has continued to receive unflinching support of more political organizations ahead of landslide victories expected. The latest is the amalgamated APC support groups, where about 2,000 different bodies pledged to work for the party's success across all levels. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
The clock is ticking and permutations as high as the sky, with enthusiasm to woo more support for victory come February 25th, 2023. Now, this movement under the aegis of amalgamated APC support groups is collapsing its collective networks for the actualization of Tinubu Shetima's mandate.
Everywhere you go, inshallah, we are going to sweep clean all the votes.
The amalgamated APC subgroups is a group that has about 1,000 or almost 2,000 support groups that came together to operate, work at the same time, move at the same time, and talk with one voice.
The strategic positions given to me and the work plan attached to it is nothing but starting from the grassroots mobilization.
In the midst of all, against all odds, let us continue with the tempo. Let's go back to our grassroots. And what matters is the vote.
Different leaderships under the group expressed strong convictions that Nigeria will come out strong and prosperous under the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
The APC governorship candidate in Adamawa State, Senator Aishatu Dahiru Binani, says she will focus on good governance and economic diversification for the development of Adamawa State if elected. This was during her campaign tour in Mubi, Michika and Madagali local government areas in the state. Nafisatu Abdulhamid Dambos reports.
The APC governorship candidate in Adamawa State, Senator Aishatu Dahiru Ahmed Binani, was in Mubi to converse for votes ahead of the governorship elections, where she railed out her 10-point agenda, which include provision of sound healthcare system, wealth creation, as well as youth and women empowerment. While in Gulak and Shua towns of Madagali local government, Senator Aishatu Dahiru Ahmed Binani promised to address developmental issues for socio-economic development of the areas. The story is the same in Michika local government area, as the APC governorship candidate reiterated her commitment to good governance. From former governor of the state, Bala James Gilari, Senator Binta Masi Garba, among others, is a message of hope and victory for Senator Binani and all APC candidates. In Yola, Nafisatu Abdulhamid Dembos, NTA News.
Next is Sports Update.
Shooting Stars claimed their second win of the season in the Nigeria Premier Football League as they beat bottom team Nasarawa United 2-0 in their matchday 6 clash, which was live on NTA. Samuel Anyorinde netted both goals in the first half as the Oluyole Warriors piled more misery on the Solid Miners. In other matches played Sunday, Eyimba International beat Okanemi Warriors 2-0. Akwa United were 3-1 winners against Remo Stars, while Doma United shocked champions Rivers United 2-1, with the game between Niger Tornadoes and Lobby Stars